See if I cut back on that light again. That background light is bright, boy. Oof. The sun's not even out. But still, there be a lot of snow on the ground. Got to have the obligatory Red Bull. Oh, that's good. And I had a nice breakfast today, too, so. I do this every live stream. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Excuse me, folks. Still early yet. I just realized it's only 10:30 in the morning. Holy cow. At least when I have a little bit of a distraction in the background right there. Okay. There was something else I was going to do. Oh, I'm an idiot. I hate this when I brain fart. You ever have those moments where you got something that you have planned in your brain? Oh man, that's where that stink is coming from. Oof, it's my dishwasher. You know what it is? I had a little bit of seafood the other night. And there was a lot of olive oil in the dish. And silly me forgot to pre-treat my dishwasher with the foaming spray. And as a result, man, oh my God, it stinks. Just bear with me, folks, if I got any viewers. Like always, I'm like a bad kid in school who didn't do his homework. Oh man, does this stink? You know what it is? I got a garbage disposal unit in my apartment. And if you don't rinse it once in a while with bleach or dish detergent, man, it can really stink up your home. Something awful. Oh man, is that bad? Woo! So as you can tell, I was never really, I mean, even though I graduated with all sorts of credits in pre-college classes in high school, I'm still not good at doing homework. So, oh man, does that stink. Jeez. Oh, is that bad? That's all that squid and freaking olive oil that was in that dish. I hope all you folks are having a fantastic, fantastic Tuesday, I believe it is, right? Am I correct? Yes, Tuesday, February 3rd. As a matter of fact, perfection demands that. Oof, man, that's awful. This place needs a good dose of Lysol. Not on the sports cards, just enough to make it smell a little more humane. God, I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. Yes, I never was a good student, even though I graduated with 47 high school credits with pre-college built into those credits. I still suck at doing homework. Cheers, everybody. Obligatory sugar-free Red Bull. All right, so I'm going to wait for a couple more minutes and then I'll get into this. I've been thinking about this all morning. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Check out my eBay store, the Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description below. Thank you to my eBay customers. Actually, there is one card I need to pull, because I did get 2 orders, which I printed out the labels, but I pulled one card, but I didn't pull the other one. So, but thank you, everybody, for your continued support of my small business. You are awesome. Big shout out to Sports Card Radio last night. When them guys come out from whatever hole they find themselves in, you better watch, because they're like the Keno Casino of sports cards. Don't fuck with Sports Card Radio. A lot of good topics were talked about last night, especially with this whole Pac-Man situation, which is another reason why I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But this is only going to be temporarily. I'm only doing this temporarily, excuse me. If you can't tell, I haven't had my caffeine. I'm working on it. I got marbles in my mouth. Not good with mornings. I never was a morning person to begin with. But we'll get into this in a little bit. I know a lot of you are probably working or doing whatever it is, so I know you folks come back like you always do. I know my audience already. I got a very, very working class, blue collar audience and eBay customer base. So, but welcome everybody. We'll talk about this, how I'm going to try to lessen the burden on my eBay customers temporarily. This is going to be something similar to like what I did last year. But this is going to be a little complicated this time around, because a lot of these listings I paid for at the end of January. And as you know, when you reach a certain point, listing cards on eBay or listing anything on eBay, at least for me, allocated 250 free listings. And then the 251st and onward, I have to pay 35 cents up front for that listing. So this is going to cost me a little money, since I did list extra cards at the end of January. Many of you responded in kind, and thanks to all of you, I got my rent paid, the rent processed, so that's good. I got a roof over my head for another month. That's never happened before, folks. Thank you for that. And again, what's prompting me to do this is, again, good live stream Sports Card Radio. Opossum Bud, who is in the Pokemon TCG collecting space, he makes great content. And this is in response to what happened with Pac-Man, what with Jeff Wilson and his fucking flexing, and the constant flexing. Look at me opening $20,000 boxes of cards. Look, buy into my break. You have to buy into my break. You fucking, you Nimrod, brain rotted people. I mean, how do you do that to your audience, man? So we're going to try to bring some positivity into the sports card space for the short term. And I'm going to help give my eBay customers a bit of a break. So cheers, everybody. Again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Click on the link below in the description box. That's my eBay store. It'll take you right over to it. I got 2 orders. As a matter of fact, I just pulled the second card. That's a Jordan Westberg Aqua Refractor out of $199. Thank you to the customer that bought that. So, I know many of you, let's see, the School of Crop. Are you going to collect that can? I can do anything I want. I'm my own boss, G. I do whatever I want. I come and go as I please. I walk the walk, I talk the talk, you know? Basically, I am my own boss. I am my I am my own Mr. Businessman. I do pretty much whatever I feel like. I say whatever I feel like without giving a shit about what most people think. But that doesn't mean I have to be an asshole. So, we collect Pokemon cards. That's awesome, man. Hey, listen, when it comes to, and I do got a sense of humor, man. I know it's the internet and all that. I got a sense of humor, so, that's fine, man. But, I mostly talk about hats, jerseys, sneakers, Transformers, baseball cards or sports cards in general, or anything that tickles my fancy. But recently in the sports card hobby space and in the TCG Pokemon space, there's been a lot of nonsense going on. You know, the whole Logan Paul illustrator that was re-slabbed, that fucking Ken Golden, you know, was there, you know, basically fapping under his desk, you know, because of the whole Logan Paul thing. It's pathetic and ridiculous, you know, to re-slab a card that was already in a holder. Imagine if let's just say I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even 1,000 heir. I'm 100 heir. You know, I'm a 3-figure guy, let's just say, right? But, you know, if this thing is up for auction, and give me a second here. Hello, first timer here. Stop by due to the attire you're wearing. Go Mets. Thank you, Sarah Tyler. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Mets are doing a complete rebuild, you know, with Bo Bichette and a lot of other guys that they picked up. You know, of course, I believe Carlos Beltran is now a Hall of Famer. Former New Yorker, now Carolinian for the past 10 years. I live in South Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been down here for a good 10 years now. But thank you for participating. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I do talk about jerseys, hats, Transformers toys, baseball cards, collectibles, and all that kind of stuff. You know, hobby talk and whatnot. I'm not a Pokemon guy, to be honest with you, but there is a lot of fuckery that goes on throughout these hobbies. Recently in the sports card hobby, a box breaker known as Pac-Man had basically berated and put down his customer base. Now, I live in South Charlotte. We got hit with about 10 to 14 inches of snow, depending on where you live. You know, down here in the deep South, it's not like my former home of New York, where they got construction equipment up the ass. You know, you're talking about, 8 million people on the island of Manhattan alone? You know, so down here, it's a very warm climate in general. So when they get snow like this, it's a rare thing. It completely blindsides everybody. So a lot of people got snowed in. They really don't have the equipment to deal with it, though they did their best. The snow is melting at a good clip, which is good. The maintenance guys, by the way, here where I live, to the maintenance staff and to the office staff there, staff in the leasing office, great job with the snow and everything like that. I was watching them guys zipping around on their golf carts all weekend. I'm pretty sure they did a bang-up job. Excuse me. Oh man, that one's been wanting to come out for a while. Pardon me, folks. But I went out and I bought an 18-inch industrial push broom, because if you live in New York, you know, the sidewalks are all wonky. It doesn't pay to shovel. You might as well just get yourself a big industrial push broom, which I bought over at Lowe's, and help clean out the breezeways and all that kind of stuff in the building where I live here to kind of help them guys out. And I just burped. Listen, it's a real skill when you can fart and burp at the same time. Try peeing, burping, and farting all at once. It's an experience, let me tell you. But anyway, you know, I chose to go outside and help out a little bit. Gave one of the maintenance guys a couple bottles of soda. He wanted I gave him two 2-liter bottles of Pepsi, because he asked if I could pick him up some Pepsi. So, you know, I did that for him, because he was out there busting his hump all day. Take care of those that take care of you, because I know a lot of lazy pricks won't go out there and lend a hand to fucking anybody. I went over to Lowe's and bought myself one of them big industrial push brooms and pushed the snow off to the side. I did have a little bit of salt and salted the breezeway just to give them a little bit of a break and lend a hand, because I care about where I live. But a lot of people, unfortunately, are still all screwed up from this snowstorm. You know, a lot of people, and I know my audience, and I know my eBay customer base. I read the room quite well. Many of you, obviously, are probably not watching this. It is now 20 minutes to 11. You're probably working, if you're lucky to get out the door. Many of you are probably taking care of your kids or sick relatives, or you got really, really hammered with snow and you're stuck wherever you are, or maybe you just don't have the money to buy anything from an eBay seller like myself because of the snow. Just like with the rest of you, when you know you live in a place like where I live, where they are very ill prepared for the snow, you know, you have to get out there before panic buying starts. So I forwarded money into loading up my 2 refrigerators. I have a little one in my bedroom. I have the main one here in my dining room, or in my kitchen, I should say, excuse me. And I'm good to go. I got plenty of food where I can get at it, but there are people who are not so fortunate, and they're not going to lay out money, which is why this whole Pac-Man situation is so fucking insulting to the sports card hobby, because he never took into consideration that we just had an east to west, coast to coast fucking snowstorm. People are not going to lay out $10,000 on picking a player from a box break or picking a team from a box break. Fuck that. And I don't blame you folks for shitting on him. Sports Card Radio did an awesome live stream about this last night. Good for them guys, because when Sports Card Radio comes out, they are like the Keno Casino of the sports card hobby. When them boys speak, best listen. So I am Team Sports Card Radio. Cheers, boys. But because of what happened with Pac-Man, and of course with the Jeff Wilsons in the world who like the flex product, not taking into consideration that people are having to steal from Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, when it comes to the snow. You know, again, I spent money I really didn't want to spend, but again, with the panic buying, that tends to happen when weather events happen. Here in Charlotte, where I live, I had to take money and just make sure I had food, just in case. You know, I did give away a little bit of food and drink to one or two of my neighbors, which, you know, it's kind of typical for me to do anyway. You know, everybody who knows me, you know. But a lot of people have been forced because of what nature does. It's not because of fucking climate change. It's winter time, and winter is going to do what winter does. Mother Nature and the Lord above are going to come together and have a little chat and say, hey, you know what? I think let's play a practical joke on the human race. Let's throw 15 inches of snow on them for the goof. Mother Nature and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ are sitting there drinking mugs of wine, getting drunk, throwing snow at us. You know what I mean? I look at it like that. But as a result, again, people are having to prioritize where they're spending their money, where they're putting their money. Either they have to get rock salt shovels or feed their kids or feed themselves or what have you. So nobody is going to prioritize sports cards. And I don't blame you. I've seen the slowdown myself, you know, through my eBay sales. And again, you know, I could read the room. And I know my customer base. Most of you are all blue collar, probably around the same age as myself. I'm going to be 49 in about 2 months' time, pushing 50 at this point. You know, so I get what it's like not to have a lot of money. I know what it's like to go through hard times in many areas like mine. Thank God I live in a pretty busy town where, you know, the snow, the roads are pretty good around here. It's just the initial snowstorm when it happened over the weekend was a shock to everybody because it doesn't happen. But people are having to prioritize buying food, getting the bills paid, making sure the heat works, you know, things like that. So this is not a priority. Much understood. Message received. And as somebody that went through hard times, I get it. Believe me, folks, I am no Pac-Man. I am no Jeff Wilson. And I'm not here to fleece my customers. So with all that being said, I did a live stream last night, finishing up preparing this stack of cards right here, which is a mix of parallels, refractors, inserts, all that sort of thing. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it right now because of the nature of the listings. I'm not going to do it now. I did something very similar towards the end of the year where I had 99-cent auctions and penny auctions just to clear out inventory so I can make room for stuff like this. I'm going to do something very similar for my eBay customers. With this stack right here of cards, and it's not going to happen anytime soon because if you look at the logistics of my customer base, most of my customer base typically buys cards or items off of me during the night hours, the evening hours. Usually around 7 p.m. and after my time here on the East Coast. Some people will actually buy stuff at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning my time. So I've read the room. What I'm going to do for my eBay customers until I see no more snow outside my window, and it is melting fast, so I'm going to try to get as much of this done tonight as I can. Until I don't see any snow outside, I am going to do my 99-cent auctions. from this stack until the snow melts, to take some of that burden off of my eBay customers, so that there are cards that I know I have multiple watchers watching certain listings, in particular autographs, which I may take those listings down and relist them as auctions to give my customer base a chance to participate in them. So I'm going to go and start with this pile first. I might do 6 cards, I might do 10 cards, but I'm definitely going to start listing these as auctions starting at 99 cents until I've exhausted at least this pile, which I prepared yesterday. And then I'm going to go back into my listings and look at my $10 cards, my $15 cards. I have quite a few watchers on certain autographs and parallels. I'll probably end those listings and relist them as 99-cent auctions, so that this way they're from the lowest point up, and then my customers can decide what they're willing to pay. And this is all a result of Pac-Man fleecing his customers, berating his customers. It's like Darkside Phil, what he does to his gaming viewers. He's a shitty gamer. He's a bad businessman. He's got a nasty attitude. He's a little fucking dwarf. I can't stand listening to his voice, how he tries to get over on people with the e-begging. Well, you gotta show your support and contribute and all this bullshit. You got to listen to this guy. It's awful. But what Pac-Man and DSP do to their viewer base and their customer bases, I think it's disgusting. Sports Card Radio and everybody in that chat, including myself, were pissed off at this whole Pac-Man situation. It's the Jeff Wilsons in this world. Apparently a terroristic threat was made towards Jeff Wilson and Cards HQ. If you've been watching in a Pokemon space, there have been smash and grabs because of people flexing their cards, like what happened with Ken Golden and the Illustrator Pokemon that was re-slabbed, and it's already being bid on. How do you re-slab a card that already is in auction? Doesn't sound right, does it? There's all this bullshit going on in these hobbies. It's a coast-to-coast, red, white, and blue jerk-off job of ripping people off. And some of us are trying to run an honest gig here. And my customer base knows how I operate. I try to be transparent. If I have problems, I message my customers right away. Like with the weather, obviously, some orders are going to arrive late. I got orders for myself arriving 3 to 4 days later because of the snow, because the post office couldn't get out. As a matter of fact, kudos to that one postal worker that called out his station house because he couldn't get his truck out. And the post office immediately threw him under the bus. Fuck the post office. Your employees are employees, not fucking workhorses. They are not slaves. That's why trade unions exist. Even though I am a registered Republican, I came up blue collar. I know what it is to work for a living. That wonderful event known as 9/11, which I have the patch on my hat right there. I was there for the first 5 days after the thing happened. And that cost me a good union job. But because of all the years of training and because of the nature of my family's background, we are all blue collar workers. I have that blue collar mentality. That doesn't mean I'm a leftist supporting socialism and communism, because that's not what the fucking union's about. It's about work protections and a decent, fair wage, and also to have a little nest egg to put away, when you finally retire. And thank God I had to fight for it over many years. That's what started me in my little eBay business here. So, little prior history out of the way for those that are new to the channel. So what I'm going to do starting tonight, it's not going to happen this afternoon because logistically most people are sitting at home on their computers from approximately 7:00 p.m. my time here on the East Coast to about midnight. But then again, most of my eBay customers are night owls. They always buy stuff off of me at nighttime. That I know. Again, I've read the room. I think I know my customer base quite well. But any future listings, until I don't see any snow on the ground outside my window, will be listed at auction starting at 99 cents. And then you can decide that you can basically, pick and choose whether or not you want to buy cards, because I have a lot of cards that are being watched, mostly autos and high-end parallels, Well, not high end, but they're on the lower scale. But with that being said, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by the chat. You guys are funny, by the way. So what do we got here? Let me just acknowledge the chat here quick. So I just farted. I think I responded to that by saying try to fart, pick your nose, take a leak, and take a shit all at once while washing your face and brushing your teeth. That's a real challenge. You're going to hear all sorts of shit going on. You're going to have farts coming out of your ears. You're going to have burps coming out of your nose. And for most people, you'll have shit coming out of your mouth since a lot of people talk shit. But anyway, let's see. Juan Levis says, Mets coach, third base coach. I don't hear his fart. Say what? I'm sorry. There you go. Have a little fun, folks. Got to have a little fun, right? Can't always be so stern, stoic, and serious. So anyway, what I'm going to do tonight, probably around 8 o'clock my time here on the East Coast, I'm going to pick any 10 cards at random out of this stack. I am going to shuffle them around, depending on how long. I can't help it. It's the fucking chat distracting me. Sounds like the Mets record. Yep. What brand is your refrigerator? To tell you the truth, I don't even know. I know the one in my bedroom is an Emerson. I have like one of those little college hotel refrigerators, a stainless steel one where I keep all my Red Bulls and drinking water and Gatorade. I'll tell you right now. Why not? Let's go find out. Go on to find out. It is a Whirlpool. So, yes. So I have a little Emerson College one inside my bedroom, and then I got this one here. Sounds like $8 million hitter. Yeah, in rubles maybe, in Monopoly money, but not even close. I'm lucky I got the money I have. With all that being said, so around probably 7 to 8 o'clock my time here on the East Coast, I'm going to pick 10 cards at random, list those for auction if it works out this way. Might be 5, might be 10. I'll list them all at auction for 99 cents. Then I'm going to go back into some of my listings where I have multiple watchers for certain cards that are like $15, $18, $19, $20, something like that. Let me see if I can pull out an example of one, because I did load up recently. So, and by the way, shameless e-beg, anybody who's interested in sports cards, click the link in the description box. My eBay store is called the Carolina Collector 001. I have over 700 items, or 700 listings, I should say, to be more specific, for sale. Many of you have come through already, and I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, participate in the chat, all that good stuff. It's YouTube. You know what to do already, folks. I don't have to tell you. Let's see. Let me see if I can find you. I mean, most of these are all numbered parallels anyway, and inserts and stuff like that. But I'm looking to see if I can pull out one of the autos from here that I know is like a $15 to $20 auto, for example. Here, like this Slade Ciccone. That's a green out of 99, I believe, right? Yeah, from Topps Chrome 2024. So let's just say if this was like a $15 card, if I comped this, I'll end that listing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it out right now because that'll make me kind of, dirtier while it's in front of my face, right? It'd be nice while it's here to pull these cards out. You know what I mean? I'll probably start with the autos first that I have for sale. I'll pull the listing and then relist these at auction for 99 cents. And then, if you're those customers that are watching these cards but got, screwed over by this snowstorm because you had to, move your funds someplace else, that will give you a chance to at least, have a shot at getting these. I think that's fair for everybody. And to start these off at 99 cents, I think is a pretty good starting point. So I'll do that sometime starting tonight. I'm not going to do it now because it's too early and I want to get these two orders out. Let me just take a look at the chat here. I like the gear. Thank you very much. Yeah, I grew up in New York City there in East Elmhurst, Queens. Know what I'm saying? I'm actually a Mets fan, Yankees fan, and New York Giants fan. I'm also a big fan of German soccer, big Bayern Munich fan. This is a Mike Piazza, Mitchell and Ness jersey right there from the, what was that, the 2000 World Series? I always forget. Yeah, 2000 World Series. So, Pizza Man, the Piazza Man himself. I do have, I actually sold off a couple of his jerseys because I lost a ton of weight. I was almost 300 pounds at one time. I'm now down to like 190 to 195 ish. So I cleared out my entire wardrobe. Any super extra large 2XL jerseys I had, I sold off over at my eBay store. So whatever I got now is what I got, unless I go out of my way. But right now, nothing appeals to me jersey wise, except 4 to 3 jerseys I did order recently because of all of you, my eBay customers. I have the new German national team jersey for the World Cup coming. It's going to be delayed because of the snow, of course. I did have it customized with Florian Wirtz. And I have 2 Bayern Munich jerseys coming. I have their Champions League strip coming, fully customized with Harry Kane and the patches and all that. And their home jersey is coming with Harry Kane with the Bundesliga patch on the sleeve. So that's on its way. I did get in a reservation for the Studio Series Hot Rod. So that's still in limbo. Tomorrow, I'm going to have last year's 9/11 New York Yankees anniversary hat coming. I have the one from 2 years ago with the white FDNY letters on it. This one has the red letters. That one was a little hard to come by, and I'm not paying an eBay flipper $200 for a fucking baseball hat. You got to be nuts, unless it's a classic new era without the MLB emblem on the back. I have one baseball hat that's vintage that doesn't have this logo man on the back, and that's a classic New York Mets hat. I'm still trying to track down a Yankees one, but I'm not paying no $200 for a baseball hat. That's not happening. So lucky I found a seller on the Shop app, not sponsored by the way, who still had a couple of those FDNY hats in stock. So I got plenty of review stuff coming. I still have a ton of stuff to go over and review here on the channel. I do want to do an abridged review. I think I talked about this yesterday. Now I did do I think like an hour and a half long, 2-hour long live stream of Studio Series Soundwave. This thing is epic, man. I highly, highly recommend you grab one of these. It is probably one of the best sound waves out there, though it's kind of got 1 or 2 little nitpicks to it. The cassettes I don't like. I can tell you right now, I can't stand the cassettes that he came with. They're awful. In there, I have the Netflix Laserbeak because you don't have the parts for him, this Laserbeak. This is the Laserbeak I'm using with him. Looks good in his chest. I also covered up the factory Decepticon logo with this plastic, really sticky Decepticon logo. It really, really makes the figure pop. I like this a lot better than the factory one, but I might do a separate video about that. So, who we got here? We got Big Mama. I'm ready for some bangers. I don't know if I'm going to be buying wax in the future. I'll be honest with you folks. You know, the sports card hobby is turning into a shithole. Unfortunately, what happened with Pac-Man, you know, and many other people like him, you know, with backdoor breaks or backyard breaks or any of these breakers, they're charging an arm and a leg. I mean, what happens if you buy into a player, for example, from one of these boxes, like what Pac-Man did? He was selling players. What happens if you get a common player? And you just laid out, what was he asking? $5,000? What happens if your player doesn't show up in these breaks? You're fucked. Or what happens if he pulls nothing but common cards of, let's just say, everybody's on the Cooper Flag bandwagon? Stop hype buying. You see fucking Jeff Wilson again flexing his bullshit here on YouTube. You know, you have to buy Cooper Flag. Buy it, buy it. How do you know he won't get hurt? Here, like, for example, I have one Paul Skeens card. It's a red Mojo refractor out of 5 from Bowman Chrome Prospects. I kept that one card because typically the prospect cards do maintain their value, you know, and everybody got on a Paul Skeens train, and his card prices have leveled out because everybody's afraid he's going to injure his elbow with the way he pitches. The guy's an animal, yes. Look at Shohei Ohtani. He got Tommy John. Thank God, he's a multiple MVP winner. And he maintains his value, especially if you have, like, with the Bowman Chrome batting rookie card. I have one in a PSA 10. I didn't pay what everybody's paying now. I paid a fraction of the cost for that thing. Right now, there's one on eBay selling for $3,300 in auction. And I'm quite sure it's going to go up to $3,500. I'm not surprised. But the hobby's out of control with the hype buying and the greed and the breakers. I made a video about this on the channel 2 years ago now about me trying to get Topps Chrome Sapphire. I had 2 boxes that were ordered, paid for, were supposed to be mine. Within 10 minutes, I got an alert on my phone from my bank saying that there was suspicious activity on my account. Apparently, Topps refunded the money because, of course, I'm not a breaker. I'm just a little shit YouTuber talking about toys and sneakers. You know what I mean? So somebody else got my allocation of I was not happy. And that video was still up, as a matter of fact. I was not thrilled. And I tried it again with this latest Sapphire release, and the same thing happened. I'm not going to go into a mindless tirade because I expected it to happen. There's no point in complaining about it, because that's the nature of the hobby these days. No idea how these breakers keep getting customers. Because of hype. If one person has a thing, everybody has to have it. It's like, right now, good example of a hype item. This is Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. They just put out pre-orders. Pre-orders, there's no such thing as pre-orders. You either order it or you don't. The proper term in proper English for you idiots that use the word often and pronounce it often, accenting the T, it's pronounced often. The T is silent. Brainless, uneducated oafs. Often. Jesus, like pre-order. You didn't pre-order anything. You reserved your copy. You paid for your reservation for said item that's not available yet. But anyway, reservations, and I'm going to use the proper English here, went out for the battle-damaged Optimus Prime based on the 1986 cartoon movie where Megatron took a piece of metal and jammed it into his waist, and thus subsequently killing Optimus Prime because of that turbo-revving young punk hot rod. But the reservations sold out within minutes. And there's supposed to be another drop today with Power Glide and other Transformers because everybody has to have one. And I'll tell you why. It's not for collecting reasons. It's to either flip them on eBay, to 2x or 3x them on eBay, or they need something to talk about on YouTube to make YouTube revenue. That's all. Simple explanations. Everybody has to have one. Oh, look, he's got one. I have to have one. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Remember that in the Bible? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. And you're doing that, America. You're doing that with these sports cards. That's why they're getting these customers. Because everybody has to have one. Because people want to be seen having these. Reason number 3, it's like the stupid Stanley pink cup that everybody had to have. And the Valentine's Day cups and the fucking Boo-Boo or where La Boo-Boo, whatever the fuck the ugly looking Chinese dolls are. Everybody wants one because they want to be seen having one. It's bullshit. Bullshit. Just like lemmings falling off a cliff. Ass to mouth like the human centipede. I don't want a Labubu. They're gross, ugly, disgusting, and I'm a grown man. So says he that collects toys, by the way. Hashtag hypocrisy. But I say all of this with a satirical context because the simple fact of the matter is, unfortunately, with America, oh, look, the big star has the shoes. I have to have them so I can think, feel, and believe I'm a star. I'm not Mike Piazza. I'm a fan of the team. Been going on forever, though. Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Kids, and on. People are idiots. I agree 100%. As you can tell, I love people. I love people to death. I love the fact that they're capable of murder and disease and running around out in the middle of the street when they don't get what they want. They throw coast-to-coast temper tantrums, throwing construction cones at the police, and then whine, cry, and complain on the news when they're wearing black fingernails as a grown man, supposedly, with long hair longer than a woman, in a little voice that sounds like this, who complains that they got shot in the eye with a pepper ball. Don't fuck with the police.
Don't be out in the street protesting, and especially don't throw construction cones at them. Logic, folks. Brain power, brain power. Mine seems to work quite well. Little smarter than the average bear, though I am idiotic in certain areas. I am quite intelligent in others. Don't fuck with the police and you won't get shot in the eye with a pepper ball. And you hit me in the eye and now I can't see. Yes, people are idiots all across the board. We definitely have some Academy Award winners out there, don't we? Everybody has to have their participation trophy. Everybody has to look the same, talk the same. You know, just because I'm wearing a Mike Piazza jersey doesn't mean I bought it because I want to hop on a bandwagon because he happens to be successful. If I was a true bandwagon fan, I'd be wearing the Shohei Ohtani jersey. Well, it's not to talk about my Aaron Judge jerseys or my Don Mattingly stuff, but that's neither here nor there. I'm a fan of things. But people only get these things and buy these things because they want to be seen. It's a trend. It's a trend that everybody wants to be a part of because everybody wants to feel special. Everybody wants to feel part of something. If he has it, I want one too because look at all the attention that they're getting. And because I'm an attention whore, I have to have it too. Like Nike Air Jordans. I buy Nike Air Jordans because I grew up when Nike Air Jordans first came out. I love Jordan brand. That's simple. I'm not trying to be Michael Jordan. Obviously, definitely I don't look like Michael Jordan. And I'm not even trying to look like Michael Jordan. I like the sneakers. Doesn't mean I'm trying to be Jordan because I don't hop on a bandwagon. I grew up with this stuff. You know, I'm a Mets fan. But Piazza was a standout guy at that time. He was the one that hit that 9/11 home run when New York City, you know, was going through a tough time. It's a real shame that all these years later they voted for a Muslim commie socialist asshole where you got to see the shit that's coming out of New York, literally. Man, I thought the garbage was bad when I used to live there. You got to see the mountains of garbage that are out in the street. And how many homeless people died under his watch, by the way, just out of curiosity? But left-wing socialist Democrats who want the government to pay for everything so they can live, you know, overweight, privileged, you know, black privilege and alphabet privilege and gay privilege is a thing too, because society is trying to prioritize these genetic misfits, you know, where people like myself who are on permanent disability, who did a noble thing on 9/11, well, after the fact, and tried to fight the system to get out of it what I put into it. I had to fucking dredge through the mud and got dragged through the mud at the same time. But I'm the bad guy, right? Fuck that. Just because you're fat with skin flaps doesn't make you special. Fuck you. Fuck your pronouns. Fuck your skin color. Fuck your septum nose rings. You're not special. You shit, burp, and fart just like I do. That means you're a turd-flinging monkey like the rest of us. You just want to pretend to be special because nobody likes you. You're ugly. You're fat. You're undateable. You're unfuckable. Nobody wants you. Nobody cares about your weird astrology stuff. And stop trying to sound intelligent. By the way, little side note here. Have you ever listened to these septum ring wearing assholes, especially the women that wear Hitler-looking things? They look more like Hitler wearing a septum ring than Hitler does. They want to say conservatives look like Hitler and are Nazis. My grandfather fought for this country against the Germans, and I come from German roots. My grandpa, my namesake, fought for the U.S. Army against the Germans. But they look more like Nazis with the smudge under their nose because of the door knockers that they wear. They try to sound intelligent. They use all these big words, big terminology without context because they want to sound more important than what they really are. But then meanwhile, that wonderful woman with the septum ring bleeds out from between her legs once every 20 to 28 days. Well, we have to deal with her unsufferable fucking behavior and attitude and the commanding and demanding. And then they wonder why they are alone by themselves and single. Fucking idiots. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So, as you can tell, I am well versed in political jargon and ridiculousness and self-importance and all that crap. Quite frankly, I really don't care. As long as people leave me the fuck alone to do what I want for myself, I don't care about people's bullshit. I really don't care. I don't care. But yeah, this was happening back in the days where people were clamoring for my buddy They were clamoring for the Cabbage Patch Kids. They were clamoring for Nintendo. They were clamoring for the Smurfs back then. You know, everybody wants one. Everybody has to have one. It happened with Tamagotchis back in the day. It happened with, you know, even with sneaker culture. It happens with certain pairs of sneakers. I mean, anything that people can latch onto and make themselves feel a little bit more important than what they really are, to try to pretend to be somebody else. I'm not trying to pretend to be Mike Piazza. I know I'm not Mike Piazza. Just because I wear his name on my back doesn't mean I want to be Mike Piazza. I am me. I'm a fan of the team, but he was a standout player to me. But that doesn't make me Mike Piazza. I'm not trying to claim that I'm Mike Piazza. I don't want to be Mike Piazza. I like who I am. Unless I fart. Huh? Like what people are posting in the chat. Then I don't like myself. That's why I keep multiple cans of this around. Humor, fuckers! Anyway, yeah, you can laugh at yourself. You can joke around. You have every right to. But with all that being said, if somebody said that this Scotch tape was made out of, what do they call that in Star Trek? The plastic, if this was transparent aluminum, you watch how fast people start flipping that fucker on eBay. Because they're like lemmings. Got to call the stuff out, folks. Call the stuff out. It's shameful. Very shameful. Very shameful. So that's probably what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to go through my autos that are currently listed on eBay. I'm going to pull those listings, start these over at 99-cent 5-day auctions. So you who are going through all of this stuff with the snow and the bad weather and all that, I know my customer base at this point. I know that a lot of you, you know, are probably going through a little bit of financial hardship. I am no Pac-Man. I am no Jeff Wilson. I am no Probstein or anything like that. I am actually a Walmart Probstein, and I say that proudly. And yes, I am a dirty, smelly Walmart shopper because I like getting good deals, just like the rest of you. Fuck them. So I will be pulling mostly autos from my current listings if I see them. There are 2 of them right here, for example. I do have several listings at my eBay store that have about 5 or 6 watchers, but those same people may have kids that had to, you know, shift their money around and buy rock salt and extra bread and extra milk and all that kind of stuff because of this snow. So I'll be doing this up until I don't see any more snow on the ground in front of my home, which could be a couple days. So I will start. I'm going to pick maybe 5 or 10 cards at random, again, out of this current stack from the live stream I did yesterday. Start them off at 99 cents and then see where they go from there. Whatever I get, that's what it is. Not out to make $1 million. And then if I see $15, $18, $20 listings of sports cards that are autos or parallels, I'll end those listings. I have quite a few of them right there in that box right there. And I'll start them off at 99 cents to give you folks a chance to grab these, because I know, again, I understand. I literally see it right out my window how many people had to buy snow shovels, rock salt, bread, milk, eggs. Maybe you have kids. You couldn't get to work. The roads are closed. Cable lines came down. Chunks of tree came down. Are you listening, Pac-Man, you fucking retard? Oh, God, that angers me so much. Good for you, Sports Card Radio, for calling it out last night. Love them fellas. Love them fellas for calling it out. I called it out. Many other people called it out. Yeah, spend $5 on pictures of men when people can't even get to work, when they got fallen trees and power lines down. It's like what happened, you know, with that hurricane we had down here out west, as a matter of fact. Thank God Charlotte wasn't hurt by it, but that I forgot what the name of the hurricane was that we got hit with, but we dodged a bullet here in Charlotte. But out in the mountain range out west in North Carolina, in the Allegheny Mountains there, they got fucking pummeled. They got pummeled. So I'm going to try to make it easier on my customers. Again, I'm not out to make $1 million, folks. I'm going to do what I can. I'll probably start this process around 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock tonight, my time here on the East Coast. I'll do about 5 or 10 listings at random from this stack right here. And then whatever autos I pull, I'll end that particular listing, start it as a 99-cent auction. And then you decide what you're willing to pay for them. And that should take some of the burden off of all of you. Again, I'm not out to fleece my customers. I'm not out to rip you people off. I know a lot of you want to buy cars. I've got messages and DMs from eBay that, you know, you wish you can buy stuff, but the snow fucked you all up. And I got all that stuff. message received, and I'm going to do what I can to make it easy on all of you. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to get these 2 orders out that are here right now on my TV stand. There is a Jose Ramirez purple out of 250 I sold. So that's got to go out. And then again, there's the Jordan Westberg Topps Chrome debut. Aqua Parallel at $199, so that's going to go out today. Some of my personal items that I ordered should be coming today. The post office has been really running behind with a lot of stuff. You know, the 3 jerseys that I ordered that I want to review won't be here probably for another week or 2. And it's crazy because soccer.com is right here in the South. And usually they show up within 2 to 3 days, but the delays from them are also bad. I have supplements coming today that were supposed to come last week. They got stuck in Tennessee, which should be coming today. I got the alert for at least one of 4 orders that I made for supplements, and that's because of all of you folks. My eBay customers helped me pay for those. Thank you for that. I don't care about the baseball cards. I don't care about the sneakers. I really don't. The supplements and the health products that I buy to keep myself looking fit and young and to take care of my blood sugar and all that stuff, I care about that more than anything else. You folks helped pay for my rent this month. The rent was paid exclusively with eBay money. That's never happened before. It actually not only paid for the rent, it paid for 2 months of my electric bill. So I'm paid through until February, until this month. So I won't have to worry about a bill from Duke Energy until March. Thank you. You did that. See, Pac-Man and Jeff Wilson, that's what you call gratitude. Gratitude goes a long way. And now I'm going to try to do what I can for those eBay customers that express that they're having financial difficulties, but they're still interested in my sports cards. You got all screwed up with the snow. I'm going to do my part to make my cards as cheap as I can until I see no more snow outside. That's what I'm going to do for you folks. So starting tonight, just a quick recap. The live stream I did preparing these cards. I'm going to start with these. I'm going to list these as auctions starting at 99 cents. You decide what you want to pay for them, and then I'm going to go back into my previous listings, dig out whatever autos I have for sale, end those listings because some of these have 4, 5, 6 watchers on them. A lot of them are going anywhere between $15 to $20. I'll end those listings, relist them as 99-cent auctions, and you folks decide what you're willing to pay for them. And I'm going to continue that process until I don't see a drop of snow outside. Sound good? I hope so. If I can make things a little easier for all you folks, because I did read your messages. I read the room. This whole thing with Pac-Man is fucked up. This whole thing with Jeff Wilson is messed up. Backyard Breaks, this whole thing is messed up with them. What's going on in the Pokemon collecting space is messed up. And we need to fight back and stand up against this crap and be a little bit more honest with ourselves. Money does not make the world go around, all right? Sometimes you got to work with each other. That goes, politically, spiritually, in the world of sports. We might support different teams, but we can still be friends and get along and have things work out. Not everybody has to keep, beating each other over the head just for, a dead president on a smelly green piece of paper that we carry in our wallets and purses. I think it's pathetic. So that's my plan, folks. Again, thank you very much for supporting the channel, my live streams. I definitely want to sometime, hopefully today, if I can find some time, because I got some stuff I got to do, including getting those orders out. I'm going to do a short form video review of Soundwave because that live stream was like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I do want to do an abridged version of that, hopefully sooner than later. It might be too late, we'll see. But this is an awesome figure. If you're able to get them, get them. Great, great action figure. And I do have more stuff coming that I paid for out of pocket. Of course, this channel is not sponsored. I sponsor everything. Everything that you see, I pay for. Well, technically, you pay for through my eBay sales. I mean, let's be realistic here. See the world for what it is, folks. This is a bell. Okay. These are coins. This is tweezers. This is Scotch tape. Call a spade. Be real. Don't conceal reality in euphemisms and jargon. Call it what it is. Say what it is. You folks helped to pay for them Jordan 8 Bugs Bunnies that I wear. I'm thankful for that. You helped to keep my roof over my head for another 30 days until the rent. Well, this is leap year, isn't it? Was it February 28th or 29th? I forget what it is this year. I don't know. I'm just being facetious like always and nitpicky. All right, I'm rambling on, folks. I don't want to waste any more of your time. I want to have a little bit of lunch before I go out. So, again, thank you all. God bless. Take care. Stay safe. I am your host, the Carolina Collector. Keep an eye on my eBay store. I will start doing this process or beginning this process, I say, around anywhere between, if I get no distractions, between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. tonight. I will pull my $8, $15, $16, $17, $18 listings, relist them as 99-cent auctions of particular autos like this, so you have a chance to grab something for cheap. You dictate the course of what the price of these cards are. And until I exhaust this pile of cards right here, and or until I see the snow melt outside, to help you, achieve your goal of getting the cards you want and not having to break the bank. Because I know the difference between having that emergency $20 bill in your pocket to pay for a tank of gas, or buying a picture of a man, like Sports Card Radio would say. Again, good for you, Sports Card Radio, and everybody that participated in that live stream. This bullshit needs to stop. And we need to call out this bullshit in this hobby. All right, folks, take care. Again, God bless you all. Be safe. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Always hit that like button. Check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box of each and every single video, live stream in short. And I'll begin this process of making things a little bit cheaper for all of you over at my eBay store until I see no snow outside where I live, to hopefully take some of the sting out of your current financial burdens. I'm sure many of you had to scramble for milk and eggs and bread for your kids and yourselves. Many of you can't get to work. You have to make a choice. Spend this $20 bill on a baseball card or spend it on gas. And I'm going to try to make it a little easier for those that I know my customer base. And I know how you folks think. I know you're all blue collar like I am. Well, past tense, I was blue collar until that wonderful event in 2001 fucked me all up. I get it, folks. Most people don't. Shame on them. And shame on Jeff Wilson. Shame on Pac-Man and any other motherfucker that's like them. Take care, everybody. The revolt has begun.